Hi there, welcome to the Deep Dive. And this time it's four kinds of horses. As I mentioned in the Flower Moon intro, this actually began on someone else's project. This is Richard Russell asked me, as he did with quite a few other musicians, to come in and throw some ideas for his project. And we began with some of this sort of stuff, but the verse and the lyric idea emerged in one of the later attempts yet to generate something there. It's a bit like this.
They must have seen you looking, watched everything you said, knowing you could be a part of it. They fill your head, fill your head. Many a night, many the days, so inaccessible, this land beyond a brilliant haze. Here is the money, and there is the load. This is the way you travel if you wanna see the world explode.
That was a second attempt to come up with a chorus, and it still didn't work for me. There was another chorus en route. I think there were 3, maybe 4 attempts at ideas. Here's one. Yeah, I still like this melody, but I couldn't make it work in the song. Didn't seem to connect properly, so that went to the dumper. And then we eventually got this, the final chorus.
Come all the nights, oh, come all the days, so inaccessible in this land beyond the brilliant haze.
It wasn't until quite up till I'd sort of resurrected this idea and found a new chorus that I felt happy with.
To see the world explode. All kinds of voices, all kinds of men. I used to say you're something different, but you do it all again.
Although the song had a reject label on it, I really felt there was something there that I wanted to get right, and so it just, I'm a bit like a terrier, you know, I'll keep on and on until it works. And often you find that it's at the moment when you're about to give up and abandon something again that something will just creates the space for something else to happen. So that's often been the way, and I think that was the way in this case. When I was coming up with some ideas for Richard's project, he'd actually, you know, he's a good rhythm programmer, and he'd done a very good rhythm track, but I didn't think that it suited this direction. So we sort of built up some things again with triplet echoes and smaller sounds that I think suit this sort of more dreamy mood. When I was working with Brian Eno too, he, you know, was listening through to. I played him everything, and you know, he's always got ideas for everything. But in this case, he started going for his thin synth sound, and it sounded worm-like to me. Now, part of what we're trying to do with this record is create these sort of 3-dimensional environments as well. So I then asked him to do 11 more, what I call sound worms, these sort of high frequency sounds. And the dream there was to create this sort of three-dimensional wallpaper of these moving worms. So it's I think when you get to the Atmos version, you should hear all that. Besides Brian's worms, I think John Metcalf's strings play a big role in this track too. And John took my sort of fairly simplistic pads and turned them to a beautiful, beautiful thing. So maybe we should play a bit of the orchestral recording. It was also another lovely occasion for Dad, because I had Mel, my daughter, singing on this again. So she lives up the road from the studio now, which is a lot easier, to bring her in than when she was living in America.
I just say something different, but you do it all again. All kinds of voices, all kinds of men. Now you think you're something different, but you do it all again.
The band did some wonderful playing on this, and maybe I'll get a chance to introduce you to this extended band that we put together. And so, for the first time in the basic band, we're going to have string players and a horn player. They're all wonderful musicians, so look forward to introducing them. People also ask about horses, why horses? And it was just, there is a Buddhist parable about 4 kinds of horses, so that was really the starting point for the title. The parable talks about whips and everything else, but it's just, it's more referring to people's spiritual state and how ready they are to be enlightened, I think, and or how much they need to be kicked out of their slumber. But horses, also for me, I grew up on a farm. It was a dairy farm, but there were always horses around. And my mum used to have this lovely old chestnut horse called Harvest. Not that original a name, but he was a wonderful character. And as a little kid, I would go and sit underneath him. I don't think people would allow that nowadays. And I'd sit there for long periods while he would be standing over me, providing shade. So he was a particular favorite, but I didn't really, in my house you had to do, if you got involved with the horses, you had to do all the cleaning of tack and cleaning out the muck, all the general maintenance associated with horses. And although I really loved the animals, I wasn't particularly drawn to riding, and wanted to get on with serious things like watching television. thank you anyway for joining me in the deep dive. It's a little shorter than usual because we're in rehearsal, but I look forward to seeing you next month.